and welcome to the Financial Freedom Now Show. My name is Tony Ayodare, your usual host. On this show, we talk about all things finances, the money mindset, how to build the income, how to help you achieve financial freedom. Thank you for staying tuned to our wonderful show. For all our returning subscribers on all of the different platforms, your podcast platform or your video your podcast platforms, YouTube and the likes, welcome back. Thank you for your dedication and tuning in on a weekly basis. Now, for anyone tuning in for the very first time, you're welcome as well. Thank you so much for doing this. We really do appreciate you stopping by. I'd encourage you to subscribe or follow and make sure you are first to hear about the wonderful content that we have for you. Today, we're going to be starting on a new series, and I'm going to make this a 5-part series. We're going to be talking about a property series. Now, it's no secret that I became an entrepreneur through property. I'm very passionate about building wealth through property, and one of the ways that's helped me build the wealth so far has been through property. I do property here in the UK, so obviously it is not a shock that I'll be running a series on property. What I want to do with this content, next series of content, is I want to help anyone who's venturing into one of the best asset classes in the world, any economy, any country, or is real estate. And I want to help as many people as possible get on the ladder. I'm a big believer, and this is something that we share in our company Icon Range. We're creating real value in people and places. One of the big values, one big believers that financial freedom and building wealth through property shouldn't be far-fetched. It's something that should be within reach for everyone. Now, obviously, in terms of the ladder and the capacity in which you can do that is going to differ from persons to persons, depending on different situations, some of which could be capital accessible to you. However, I believe there is an option for everyone. So what I want to do is give you that knowledge, give you that content there so you understand how this is going to be possible. We're going to be starting this series talking about starting in property. I'll be sharing with you the beginnings of my journey, how the things that I've done to help me start up in property, and perhaps there will be one or two things for you to learn in that for yourself. So let's get started. Property in the United Kingdom is an expensive asset class. There is a concept, that there is an idea, and this is true, that in building property, in building your property, you need a large capital. Yes and no. And I definitely found this the case in what was I was obviously building my journey. So I grew up in Nigeria and relocated to the United Kingdom as an adult. And so obviously certain information was new to me. And one of the things that I wanted to do at some stage was to actually buy my own home. Because you see, as an adult, I was renting and paying the landlords and making them rich, which is not a problem in that I'm paying for landlords. But not only that, I also did not have the autonomy in where I would say I couldn't actually tell you, oh, I'll be in this property in the next 5 years, and so I want to make it last, because I wasn't in control of that. The landlord could decide they wanted to sell up, they wanted to live in their property, and which would mean I'd have to leave property. So it was just not as settling for me as possible, and that was one of the concerns I had. But more so, I as an entrepreneur was also thinking of how I can keep more of my disposable income, to make sure I didn't have to pay a lot of it out. And so obviously the thought process of buying our first home was came on the cards. And now eventually, obviously, being a property developer, not just buying my first home, I could also think of how can I make money from property. So starting out, I don't know if any of those questions obviously resonates with you, but starting out in property can start from any of those conversations. It could either be from you wanting to buy for your first home or buy your first property investment. Either way, welcome on board. I actually went through all of that emotions myself, and so I know exactly what it is that you're facing. I think the few points I wanted to mention that could sort of start off is, the first thing is starting out in property. The first things you want to think about is what your credit rating looks like. What's your credit profile? Like, a lot of people are not even aware what this entails and how this could enable them or stop them from actually building a property career or even actually buying their first home. You're in most developed countries, what you would find is that there is something called a credit profile, which means that your ability to borrow money, your ability to be for any finance company to work with you or give you some sort of credit facility. Now, this is required for as little as getting like a mobile phone, getting your getting utilities, which your gas energy and your gas electric bill, anything that requires you paying on a monthly basis or on a periodic basis. So the likes of your utilities and all of that would require a financial company actually looking at your credit profile to see how well you've kept that and how borrowable you are as a human being, if that's the word. So credit profile is very key. If you do not know what your credit profile looks like, then this is the time to go online. There are a lot of free tools online that would actually give you a free access into checking your credit profile. So if you just go on Google and just type in check my credit profile, there'll be a lot of websites. A lot of them are free, but there are also subscription ones as well you can go for and see what that looks like. So that's the first thing, checking your credit profile. Secondly, knowledge of property market. I'd say the next thing you want to think about is be familiar with what are the not what be familiar, get yourself familiar with certain knowledge that you need with your property market. For example, what sort of websites do I need to search to look for properties? Which areas do I want to look like? Where look at? Where do I want to live if it's your home? Or what does the property market news tell you about an area? What's the what was the profile of the area you're looking to invest? Now I understand that you might not even know what you're looking at, but what I'm saying at this point is just familiarize yourself with those information. So like I said, property websites, marketing tools, there are loads and loads of things that you just familiarize yourself with. These are things I did at the time, especially when I didn't have information. I remember actually going around into on the high street, just walking into banks and find out if they do any property updates. I'll walk into estate agency and find out what properties there's. I just needed to fill myself with a lot of information, and I think more so now there's a lot more information online and access to information like you've got listening to me today. There's a lot on the likes of YouTube and online on the social media sites in terms of information. So just familiarize yourself. The best things to do with this is start off with the area you live in. So because once you have that once you fully understand what that area tells, you can almost do a cookie cutter system and marry that into other areas that you're looking at. Thirdly is then obviously thinking about the capital. How much do we require to actually buy my dream home, or how much do I need to buy my starter home? Now, not that I use the word starter home and dream home because they are two different terms. I find a lot of first timers who've never even stepped onto the property ladder wanting to buy the dream home for the first one. It's a rookie mistake everyone makes. The truth is, no matter how nice the property you buy for the first time, like the chances are it's never going to be your dream home. You get to a point where you just think, oh, lovely. Now I think actually I want this, because you're not when you're not used to something, you don't know exactly what to expect. So once you got yourself into it, if you're buying with a mortgage, you get used to paying for it. Actually, at that point, you then realize I could do more. Maybe I want a home office in my house, or I want this. It doesn't matter what it is. And the same applies to property investment as well. Again, I always say start small because it gives you room to sort of go up. You don't want to be. I see a lot of investors that will say, oh, they want to start up with a development or a commercial conversion to start with for the very first property that they're looking to buy. Now the question is, you have no clue what the whole process entails, and you want to buy the first one. You don't want to sort of fail big, right? Give yourself a chance. So always start off in a comfortable position. Comfortable would be differ for every single person. So capital required to buy it. Now, typically, depending on where you're listening to me from, there will be some minimum requirement, monetary requirement from yourself. Now, if you're looking at buying your starter home, there are lots of government opportunities that would help you buy your first home. Or you can actually do this on your own. You don't have to go through those government incentives or format that are out there. Now, bear in mind that those things do help, but you sort of sometimes will pay a premium together. But if you want to do this yourself as well, you can actually still buy with a mortgage and just save up a good deposit. Now, when I say good deposit, again, it depends on what it is. It would range from the likes of 5% to about 20%. Of course, the more you put down, the less you have to pay in mortgage payment, or you can buy cash as well. So let's not forget that option is available. When it comes to property investment, now, please do not take this as financial advice, but I say it's always best to actually buy with a mortgage. The reason being, you're able to leverage your money. You're going to maximize the benefit of having inflation, pay down your debt. I don't want to go much into that, but there is a benefit of actually buying with a mortgage, especially in the UK, where you've got Section 24, which means you're being taxed on all of your profits as against when you actually were able to minimize your mortgage interest. So there's a lot of opportunities that there are buying through buying with a mortgage and certainly buying through a business. So that's not what we're talking about. I don't want to deviate from what we're talking about, but obviously if information like that is available through any of our resources, you can go to our link bit.ly/icon free video, and all one word, and you can actually get on our mailing list, and we can send you regular information on what to do and how to get into a property investment journey. So starting your capital is quite key, and what capital you have access to would would determine what sort of areas you want to be looking at as well. So for example, currently in the UK, typically you're looking at around 15 to 25% of the value of the property as your initial deposit that you put down to buy the property. Now, not that it can be more or less. And by the way, this is not what we're going to talk about. I also say you don't have to save up that deposit. A lot of us get that mixed up. Oh, I don't need the £50,000 that I require to buy the first house, so I'm going to actually have to save. And bear in mind, it will take me 10 years to save the 5,000 to save 5,000 a year to get that £50,000. And you honestly think that's the way to grow? So please do note that I'm not saying you getting that deposit is about saving. There are other smarter ways you can raise the deposit, but that's not what this conversation is about. So again, you can reach out if you think you want to get a one-to-one with me, or you want to engage my services to help you understand how you can get on the property ladder, or you can come to one of our retreats. And we have one coming up very soon, Icon Algarve retreat on the 20th to 24th of October, where we talk about how you can level up and get access to all of these things. Okay, the link for that is bit.ly/icon retreats. I don't know if by the time you're listening to this, it will still be live or if some information you need. But that's, by the way, we always have retreats, business retreats, luxury retreats regularly. So if it's not that one, there will always be one other one for you to sort of look forward to. Now, going back to the topic of your capital, you need some form of capital, and doesn't have to be your own money, like I was saying, but there will be some form of capital injected into buying properties. Now, there is gone are the days when mortgages would give you 100% mortgage. To be honest, even if that comes back, you want to protect your investment. You want to protect this because we are building wealth, and we're not looking to, it's not just a one-off thing. We want to build wealth long term. So you've got to have some portfolio structure in place that would allow you to do that. So capital is required. But the next thing I want to talk about is in terms of your strategy. What property strategy are you looking at? This is specifically important if you're looking to do property investment. But even if not, if you're looking to buy your own home, every single property I have lived in the UK, but we've actually bought rundown properties because I've always wanted to put my own stamp on the place. So there is no wisdom in buying a property that is all totally done up beautiful and then having to start all over again. So I always go for properties that are run down with the benefit of being able to do them up and add value to the property. So even with my own home, I am looking for ways to make my money work hard for me. So key thing is looking at the strategy for buying and the strategy for investment. So that's strategy for buying. In terms of strategy for investment, what are you going to use the property for? There are loads of opportunity or things you can use. Strategies you can look at for your property. So you're looking at the likes of your single family buy to let. It's like a single family home. You have the likes of service accommodation, what people would commonly refer to as Airbnbs. You have HMOs, house of multiple occupancy, which is the room shares. You have commercial property. You can use your properties for service that for supported living. This is more like the small mini care homes, as I was I think supported living homes. There is a number of things you can actually use the properties for. So you've got to decide what your strategy would be. There are also strategies like commercial to residential, new build homes. You can do deal packaging. There's a whole lot available for you. So you've got to decide what that strategy is. Bear in mind that a lot of them, some of them would require more time, some would require more capital. So you decide what works for you. And again, your interest is going to be very important here. As much as I always believe, as much as I believe that it's very important to optimize your business such that you're not working in the business, you're working on the business. You also need to make sure that you have some form of interest, especially at the beginning stage when you're trying to scale up and when you're trying to build it before you scale up and obviously have staff running most of it. Not all of our property businesses do I get involved in. A lot of them that I don't even, I've not even been close to them for years. I sit on the board of our company, so I hear the numbers from that goes around, but not necessarily actively working there. But there was once a time when I did it all by myself. So there is that sum of interest that if you ever had to step into it, then you know what to do. Of course, that's not what we want to do. Okay. I think that's enough for putting there. But one of the things I always say in terms of property is understand that there is no problem in property that you cannot overcome. And I say that with so much faith, because right now I'm going through a major challenge with one of our developments, and it is taking a lot of time out of me. But I speak to myself as well when I say to you. But honestly, it's been true. It's true. In all of my 11, 12 years of doing this full time, I have learned that this is the property is so good, yet could be challenging. So understand that there will be challenges, but you are able to do this. Whether you're buying for your own home or you're buying it as investment, know that there is ways around it. Even when you come across challenges, there's always a solution. So go with that mindset, and then you know that you can do it. So I thought I'll just share that very quickly. How starting up in property, start building your business, and knowing how to navigate that world and getting yourself on the property ladder, whether your own home or your property investment ladder. Get yourself. Real estate isn't something to shy away from. People would always need property. That no matter come what may, whatever season, whatever financial circumstances, financial situation, climate that we are in, homes would always be required. I hope this helped, and you've gotten something to learn from that. Like I said, I'll be running a property series, and so with over the next few episodes of this show, you'll be learning a lot more about property to help you on that path of financial freedom. My name is Toyin Ayandare, and again, I welcome you to please help like and share this show to all of your family friends. Let them know this is happening. The more information we spread across, the more we're encouraged to continue to do this. And also the questions we get would actually fit into future episodes that we get. So like it, subscribe, follow, and share with your family and friends. Thank you very much. My name has been Toyin Ayandare. Financial freedom now isn't for the faint-hearted, and it's definitely for you. Take care, and God bless you.